in game 1. Couple big int plays pretty consistently throughout the game, just being too aggressive. But overall, I mean, he looks strong, so we're gonna have to see, will he get stronger? Will he maybe not? Maybe his team will help him dial back his aggression. As we're hopping right into Champ Select, we see the Lux once again banned away. Just not wanting to deal with that Lux Sona or Lux Caitlyn down there at all.
Yeah, and the Lux Sona, like you talked about, really allows the rest of the team to play more aggressive champions while you have so much healing and shielding coming out from your bot lane. So overall, good ban to take away. And then the Karthus in response to take that away from Tanamo, Sharon Fang, or Ham, just keep getting rid of these flex picks.
And the bans still look the same right now too. No change in bans from game 1 yet. Last time we saw a Caitlyn ban 3rd for Kisses for Cats. With them having first pick, maybe they won't ban it away. Maybe they'll opt to ban out like the Ashe, right? Get Catnator off the Ashe. He looks really good on it. His arrows for the most part were really clean, and there's the Ashe ban. So instead of Caitlyn, we'll see an Ashe ban. And will NG Blossom ban away the Caitlyn, or will they let Sharon Fang have it? Maybe they have a Jhin pocket pick. We'll have to kind of see where this ban goes. What are you thinking here?
Honestly, I'm looking to see if they might take away this Caitlyn, but if they don't, I think they're going to go and take away an aggressive jungler to get him off of this game. I wasn't even kind of close. They take away the Morgana for Special K.
This Morgana, I mean, we saw how strong it was kind of for XDME. I mean, honestly, the Black Shield had its moments, but it didn't feel like overbearing. Maybe what they're thinking is they don't want to play against Caitlyn Morgana specifically, but they have a good pick into Caitlyn, right? But they don't have a good pick into Caitlyn Morgana, so they're getting rid of the Morgana, and maybe we will see a Jhin, maybe we'll see a Lucian Leona, maybe we'll see something really aggressive, or we'll see a Senna. Man, we're both just very off.
Game today, Jake.
Senna's very slow compared to how we saw last game, but I know XDME does play Senna support, and if you pair that, you could still pair it with a Jhin. Kind of unlikely, but if you pair it with any type of these bot lanes, from Jhin to Lucian, you could go to Wukong if you were to do funnel. There's some options down there that make the Senna strong, and really, I mean, I think Senna support is kind of underrated, especially if we see the tank jungle, like we see the Jarvan again, maybe we'll see another tank top laner, we see a Galio or like one of these bruiser tanks mid. Senna support can do a very surprising amount of damage. Even with the grass Black Cleaver build, sometimes people just don't expect to get crit for all their HP. As we will see Kindred Karma locked in, a little bit of change of pace, right? Kindred, still an aggressive jungler, not quite as good early game as the Graves is, more reliant on the team especially helping you get the marks, but I think overall it does suit the playstyle of Ham very well.
And the thing that Kindred is able to do in the late game compared to Graves is that Kindred's going to be permanently scaling, right? Marks never stop. So with more and more marks collected, that's more and more damage coming out, but as well as the ultimate there to deny some of these objective fights, to deny some of this chain CC lockdown, taking out and picking off of members. I think that's what Ham can do now, because that'll kind of slow down some of those int plays you talked about, right? With the ultimate there, he's able to survive his own blunders, but as well as save his team in case one oversteps.
I think part of it also comes in with last game Ham decided he didn't have enough dashes to get out of J4 cage. And we saw J4 cage, he'd dash out of it, get Morgana binded, then Ashe arrowed, he even bought QSS. So this game he opts for a champion. When you have that Kindred W up, just dash. He's even got the Kindred ult if he doesn't have any dashes left. And pairing Tahm Kench with Jarvan can be a little awkward. J4 is all about committing in, and Tahm Kench really not all about protecting the ADC. It can still work. We see the Rumble is going to be a great pickup. Will help layer with that J4. The problem is there's still a lot of mobility coming out for Kisses for Cats. Caitlyn not the most mobile, but still does have a net to kind of get around things. And we'll see the interesting Karma lock in. I mean, once again though, we did see a KO ban actually on the side of NG Blossom. They're very scared of this KO coming out from the side of Kisses for Cats.
They just don't want to put themselves in a position where they have that scaling top laner to deal with, like when Meowing Cat was on the Vladimir. So imagine a Vladimir, but now we have a ranged AP carry who's also seconds as an AD carry with invulnerability shield. it's something that definitely need to be worried about, and that's why they're going to go ahead and take the Kale off the board. But the Senna Tom Kench for the bot lane, kind of was terrorizing in the LCS, right? You have Senna able to layer the heals. You have Tom Kench there who's going to eat her in case things go wrong, as well as the Shroud to kind of prevent them from taking any extreme amount of damage. Good, solid bot lane, very defensive, but at the same time is able to react late. And that's the Lucian lock-in.
They're going to get Tanimo's Lucian. Tanimo's Lucian. It's this patented pick. We've seen it time and time throughout the season, how aggressive he can be on it and how much damage he can put out. And, I really like it. I was going to even mention with the Silas ban from the side of Kisses for Cats, and you're trying to deny a very big teamfight ult typically. You're looking to pick, maybe I thought it was going to be a Twisted Fate or a Galio. Instead it was a Malphite coming out, which is, we saw how good Meowing Cat was on that in the series against Iron Dragons. And the biggest thing is it is an all AD team comp for the most part. I do personally actually love how much damage Karma can deal as a support, right? So it's one of those, you have the Enchanter support like Lulu and Nami and Janna and Karma, even Sona, but Karma's kind of like the high damage of all the Enchanters. And, that'll help you a lot with that Caitlyn poke lane that we've seen a little bit. It's really good against Tom Kench. I actually really like how aggressive Karma can be into the Tom Kench matchup with so much safety. Even if Tom Kench lands the Q on you, his little tongue lash, you can still just drop your root and kind of walk away from him. So there's so much safety and free laning that the Karma gets in that matchup. And it's a very aggressive style still for Kisses for Cats, not going away at all from their style. We're gonna have to see though, because Rumble versus Lucian is probably gonna dictate this lane this game, because who's gonna be able to really help their jungler, right? Ham's gonna be looking for marks. He's gonna be aggressive. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see him go from taking a blast cone into the enemy base to just passively farming. And Black Oreo Cookies is on that roaming Rumble. I mean, roaming that around with the Jarvan, it's kind of scary. So we're gonna have to see, who can make that impact again. Can, the bot lane priority really help Ham out in this early mid game? Because last game, he didn't have the best start to the game.
I mean, don't forget about the top lane, right? We have a Malphite versus an Aatrox. Both have a lot of very strong utility for team fights. You have multiple CC chains that they can throw out from Jeremy Flips on Aatrox, and then you have the Unstoppable Force from Malphite, right? Huge team fight champions, but at the same time in lane, Jeremy Flip's going to have the first couple levels without a doubt, right? So much damage to come out. You have the CC stunts, you have the dashes, you have the chains. However, once you get a little bit into that lane, Malphite's able to pick up some armor. He's going to be able to then surprise Jeremy Flip with Unstoppable Force, do a lot of damage quickly, and maybe even get a couple solo kills here and there in the top lane. So the top lane also has its chance to spiral out if someone misplays.
And
I think that's a lot of the lane kills.
Yeah, it is a lot of the lanes here, but I don't even think just solo kills for top lane. I mean, you're talking about good setup for Ham, right? Caitlyn Karma, they have a lot of damage, and they might have people chunked under tower, maybe, but you're not going to have the most CC. And even Lucian mid's not going to have the most CC. And, I mean, Kindred doesn't bring, inherent hard CC either, just kind of that slow on the E. So having Malphite with the lane that can press R, and, if he lands that Unstoppable Force as Ham shows up, I mean, you're talking free marks for Kindred, probably, right? That's a good lane Ham could look to snowball through. And, I mean, I don't know if we're going to see, 40 kills on both teams at 40 minutes, just huge bloodbath this game. But I'm hoping that we see something similar, because it already looks like it, right? We have early game Lucian, aggressive pick mid. He's going to be looking for solo kills. You talked about top lane potential to have some solo kills. Bot lane's going to be constantly, just Caitlyn Karma poking. Maybe we'll see J4 down there early on, putting some pressure. We might see Rumble roaming down there early on, putting some pressure. This does have potential to be another bloodbath, especially with how these teams are willing to take the fights. With Ham in the game, there's always potential for a fight to happen where you least expect it.
So pretty standard summoners from the teams. We have TPs in the top lane, Flash Ignites for both mid laners, and then Heals Ignites in the bot lane. Do you think we're going to have a farming Tom Kench, or do you think we're going to have a farming Senna? I'm hoping for the farming Tom Kench, a little bit of fasting Senna action, allowing her to focus on those items specifically. But what do you think?
Well, originally, I was thinking it's farming Senna, and as we get into load screen, I see Glacial. I'm still thinking it's probably farming Senna, but I hope it's farming Tom Kench just because it's a full AD team, basically for the side of Kisses for Cats. And if Tom Kench is able to, build Bramble Vest, build all these tank armor items early on in the game and have this farm funneled into him, it's going to be really hard to kill him, right? It's not like he's going to do a lot of damage or anything, but he's going to be very annoying to deal with in team fights with him being able to save people, slow some people down. I mean, if he is farming, it's going to be scary. And based on the look of it, it is going to be a farming Senna. So my initial assumption was right on the farming Senna, unfortunately.
Quick pause coming out now. Most likely someone trying to get some quick technical issues figured out here. With how the game is already, or how the teams are stanced right now, I'm hoping to see another invade here from Kisses for Cats, as they have 5 members immediately heading towards the bot side of the map, whereas you only have a couple from NG Blossom now heading out to the top lane. Both these teams are just looking to start it off spicy.
It looks like they're probably just going to 5-stack. Is what it looks like with that ping on the map that we can see. Looks like they're going to 5-stack in that bush in front of the red buff. Maybe they're expecting another invade from NG Blossom. The big thing is, I still like farming Senna as an AD carry. It's a 2-item spike and a 5-item spike. The champion is not quite as powerful as others in between those areas, but once you hit close to 4 items, you have like 120 souls. It's a very scary ADC for sure. Can outrange the Caitlyn, can outrange the Lucian, can outrange the Kindred. Looking at triple AD carries from the side of Kisses for Cats, and all 3 of them are going to get outranged by Senna as the game goes on. It can be a very scary prospect, especially with the Tom Kench to kind of save it. If you try to engage too hard on Catinator, you'll have J4, Rumble ults, Aatrox running you up. There's going to be a lot of things to worry about if you're the side of Kisses for Cats, and the Senna might get lost in these team fights. You might not, get damage on her like you wanted to, and she might be able to kind of carry. We saw Catinator last game, at the end of the game, that big step up performance on Ashe at the very end near the Dragons, kind of not the last one alive because it was a 3v3, but the last big damage threat alive, just putting out all the damage needed. And we might see something similar this game where Catinator's kind of standing back there, not dealing too much damage in the beginning of the fight, and then out of nowhere it's just Catinator versus the world killing everything. I think that's a very real threat this game, as we see both junglers starting on their red buffs. Kind of no leash for the J4 up there, though.
But with no leash there, it kind of opens up the map for him, as they're maybe not quite sure exactly where he started, as because with that 5-stack, you don't have any wards and pixel brushes. So now he looks like he's going to make a gank mid. Black Dragon's going to connect on to level 1 Tanamo. Tanamo's going to be chunked down to about half HP. Black Warrior Cookies now is definitely able to decide that lane with how much of an HP advantage he has.
That's certainly a pretty huge gank. Especially, you would have liked to burn Lucian's flash. Tanamo kind of wisely holding on to it, knows that he won't die, but he does get chunked, and like you said, that puts Black Oreo Cookies pretty firmly ahead in the lane. That's pretty. I'd say that lane's pretty swing, because I'd like to think Lucian has a lot of kill threat in the lane, but Rumble with the shield, with kind of he's short-ranged abilities, but Lucian's a short-ranged AD carry, so they both want to be up in each other's faces a little bit, and lacking that HP from that gank's gonna hurt. And we see Ham. He is getting like kind of the full clear on. He is going to be ahead in some camps. But now that Ham's coming back to the bottom side of the map, we might see an early skirmish around this bot scuttle if the bot lane has prio. But Catinator, they've done a pretty decent job of chunking down Sharon Fang already a little bit.
And that first mark kind of decides how the Kindred's going to play, right? Is it going to be a free scuttle for them, as they're able to just quickly get it because the jungle's on the opposite side of the map? Or is it going to be one that they're going to fight over? Both teams have to react, and then it turns into 2 to 3 kills just for one scuttle fight, and that's kind of how those first marks always go for Kindreds.
And it is going to be a free scuttle. Exasperated actually had to take a very early recall and picked up a ruby crystal, opting for that instead of boots or anything to kind of get on the map faster. With that early recall, as bot lane, they're honestly kind of losing this Caitlyn Karma lane. They're down in CS, they're getting chunked. not going quite as well as we thought it would.
Oh, but here we go. Ham and Tanmo in the bot lane, and now that's forcing them as they're going to get low. First blood over to Ham, and that's 2 kills already for Kisses for Cat. Teleport now coming in from Jeremy Flip. Oh, and Ham's executed.
I mean, executing is not the worst thing. Special K probably could have tanked for him. As Jeremy
Flip. He's going to now connect, and Shanfang's taking low. Jeremy Flip pick up the kill. Tanimo's now running him down, and Tanimo picked up that kill as well. 3 kills for 1 Kisses for Cats.
And that's not worth from Jeremy Flip. I think he felt a little forced to make a play, right? He TP'd bot lane, gave up his top side for a kill on Ham, not able to get it with the execute, and then, you know, feels like he has to kind of force something for himself. And while he does get a kill, I mean, Meowing Cat's getting a whole bunch of XP, got a whole bunch of XP top, you know, kind of evened up that farm gap. And Tanimo, I mean, Tanimo with 2 kills, right? We saw him get the kill and the good tower dive. Good early roams from Tanimo with his jungler Ham. And then he just gets gifted a second free kill. And you look at Rumble 0-0-0, I mean, this is a lot of kill threat Tanimo has. Tanimo didn't even have to use Ignite or Flash, right? He didn't have to use anything to get those 2 kills. And that is going to be massive for him in the solo lane aspect.
Exactly. He has the Flash and the Ignite available onto the Rumble. He has the Cutlass picked up. That's going to be a lot of damage able to be put out onto Black Oreo Cookies if he decides to go for this all-in trade once he hits level 5, maybe even goes for the level 6 all-in. He's going to be able to kite around the Equalizer and take away a lot of Rumble damage in that early fight, and that's puts Tanimo in a very strong position in the mid lane.
Yeah, but you have to wonder, I mean, Catnator does still have his heal, and XDME still has Ignite, even after that tower dive. So they kind of just accepted their death in a way, not using some of the summoner spells. And, you know, we see Ham, he's wasting a lot of time here. He wasn't expecting Catnator to take that recall for the tier. He was expecting Catnator to hang around, and he's sunk about 45 seconds into this bot lane gank already. Maybe he's looking for a counter gank as a big skirmish
now going off. Black Oreo Cookies going to drop the Ignite. Flash from Tanimo's Ignite as well. And that's a shutdown for Black Oreo Cookies. That's going to go 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, Black Oreo Cookies pushing the level 6 advantage that he had. It doesn't matter if you have 2 kills in both your summoners. When you're down that key ultimate, I mean, we saw what happened. Rumble was able to still win that fight. As now we're looking at a skirmisher on the Dragon bot side. This game is not disappointing for early action either, Pasta Boy.
Flag and Drag going to go in onto Ham. Ham's now trying to go back forward. XDME forced to eat, exasperated, and throw him back away. But here comes Catnator on the backside. He's going to go ahead and root Special K. Special K now forced to shield out. And both these teams are
Rumble's going to get here first.
Fight. Here we go. Flag and Drag onto Ham. Ham's pick up Catnator, and he's going to be taken down as well. Now Sharon Fang is trying to kite back away with Special K, able to kind of shield him up. And now Tanimo is coming in from backside. Black Oreo Cookies has forced a flash. Sharon Fang picking up XDME. These two teams are just not willing to give up any sort of pressure, any kind of objective. Even if it's just a ward, they're going to fight for it.
Yeah, and neither one of these teams truly realizing where the enemy mid laner was when they took these fights, as we saw Ham was willing to, you know, queue forward for the 1-for-1 there, giving the kill over to, or not the kill over, but just dying to Black Oreo Cookies. And then we see the same thing, right? They continue to chase, not thinking about where Tanimo is going to be. Tanimo just comes in for the free kill. And now we're looking at an early dragon going over to the side of Kisses for Cats. A much better start in terms of objective control than we had last game from them, as they had to give up the first 3 dragons last game. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a dragon as well as that second mark now for Ham. You know, 2 marks already, stacking those up. You gotta be careful, because if that Kindred gets enough marks early enough, that, you know, that's a 1 item basically AD carry. You know, that's a free Infinity Edge just over try having a couple marks.
Yeah, as we see, they're looking to punish this. You know, Infade actually is Black Oreo Cookies is just super caught out of position. And now the J4, I mean, Jeremy Flip recalled. Right, Jeremy Flip's gone. He said, guys, you do what you want in their jungle, but I'm out. And he, you know, exasperated, gets the blue buff. He's still down a level, and his mid laner paid the price. I mean, this is crazy. And like you're saying, I wouldn't call it quite an Infinity Edge for Kindred, but she does get an extra 75 range once she finishes those first 4 marks. And she's already at 2, and now because Ham fails to jump over the wall. Right as I was about to compliment us, just because they knew Exasperated was topside, Ham moves down for the mark, Did fail to hop over the blue buff wall, but will still pick up the mark unless it gets stolen from the bot lane. Nope. Ham does pick up his 3rd mark of the game. So Ham's looking at 1 mark away from 4, as meanwhile, double flash is forced bot lane.
Catnander's kind of taking low, but they're going to go ahead and land the root onto Ham. Ham's just ready to keep chasing after XDME here, and so much damage coming out of that E-proc. You know, Ham already looking like the deciding factor once again, but I hesitate to say it, but this is kind of looking like how Game 1 did, where, you know, Kisses for Cats kind of had a little bit of a lead built up. I don't want to jinx them, but at the same time, they got to make sure that they keep playing cleanly and they keep playing very specifically and precisely for how they want the game to go.
Yeah, not quite as many tools on the side of NG Blossom this game either, though. We don't have a Shen ult, you know, we don't have a Galio ult, we don't have Morgana Binding Black Shield, we don't even have Ashe Arrow, right? It's a little bit of the same thing. Rumble ult, you know, is kind of the same as Galio ult in a way, but not quite as effective with its CC, right? It's all about damage. There's no Galio taunt, no Galio knockups with the R. As we do see first tower of the game going bot lane in 10 minutes, part of that's because Ham and Tanamo have put so much pressure down there, the early tower dives, and part of that's just the sheer power of the Caitlyn Karma, able to get so much damage on the tower by themselves, even without their junglers being down there. And we see that Kindred mark spawning on Scuttle. 4th mark of the game, potentially, and where's Ham going? Straight there. He doesn't care about his red buff. But Tanamo did recall, so if they skirmish around it, it is a numbers disadvantage.
It looks like Jeremy Flip's going to make his way down there now in order to.
But we know Ham doesn't care.
Get some of that security, but Ham's going to go for it anyways.
Oh my god. That's so sad. 12 HP comes over, smites it away. As
that's level 4 now going to land on a Jeremy Flip, but here comes the Equalizer trying to do some more damage out. Ham's going to pick up the kill on a Jeremy Flip.
The Kindred are
save Meowing Cat, but Black Warrior Cookies now can't decide which way he wants to go. He's going to be swallowed up now by the Tom Kench, and Tanamo's going to pick up the kill now onto Black Warrior Cookies. XTME in the backline just trying to be an annoyance, and that's going to be a kill over to Sharon Fang, but they're not ready to give up Exasperated just yet, and Ham's going to pick up another kill. Ham is on a killing spree.
Look at that. Ham and Tanamo said, you know, we've had enough kills this game. Sharon, you can have this one. Alright, we'll gift you the Tom Kench. They leave the Tom Kench behind. And, I mean, look at him! He's just so aggressive, forcing to heal out, but probably overstepping his boundaries. As Jeremy Flip comes in and picks up the shutdown. And it's just classic Ham. I mean, he's got 3 of their 4 deaths. He's kind of inting with some of his deaths, but that's just how he is, right? He's always going for the most aggressive play possible.
Second dragon in the game spawning in 48 seconds. You know, they got to make sure that neither team's able to get it for free, but at the same time, they definitely don't have to fight for it. So we saw how effective the Soul was in that game 1. Not quite sure exactly how much play this Soul is going to have in the game, but it's always gnawing at the back of your mind of we need to get these dragons, we need to get these dragons. And I'm ready to see what these teams do for this second dragon fight.
Yeah, I mean, Ham's already at 5 marks, right? So he's almost had more marks than levels, right? He just leveled up to 8 now. But he is very much ahead in this game for how Kindred's can be. Part of that comes from his aggressive playstyle. I mean, he's got 55 CS at 13 minutes out here, but he's got 5 kills, you know, 5 assists, and 3 deaths. Very bloody on the Kindred. Looking for more. I'm surprised he didn't hop that wall knowing how Ham is, honestly, to continue the chase. This game, though, actually backing off and looking for the objective instead of going for more kills, it looks like. Gotta take the blue buff first, though, you know. Why would I take the dragon when I can take the blue first? Good play, though, because he kind of knows the enemy team is not rotating, so just taking away from the enemy jungler. And, I mean, they started up Rift Herald up here, but KFC knows. They have some idea. And we see them looking for this kill bot lane instead of contesting the Rift Herald.
I don't know about that kill bot lane, because Ham has now spotted another mark, and he's just going to go straight for it. That's going to be his 6th mark of the game in 13 minutes. Both these teams are just looking to force all the objectives possible. But here comes Tanamo, as he's now going to take Jeremy Flip down low, and he's going to pick him off now with the culling. But here comes Ham.
Good flash.
Oh, so much damage on the Black Orchid. Black Orchid flash away out of the assaultful force. and it's just a little bit too late.
Oh no! Wait, did he have a mark? Oh my god, he had a mark on Black Oreo cookies too. He's already got 7 marks at 13 minutes. He's already got an extra 100 attack range. He's got more than Senna does at this point with the extra 100 attack range. And this game is crazy.
You know, 18 kills, 14 minutes, nothing too crazy, but I don't know. These teams are just all over the place, man. No one's willing to give up anything. Every single inch of ground will be fought for in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a good flash to dodge the Malphite ult, but at the same time, I mean, he was always going to die, right? Kindred has so many dashes, there was no getting away. Kind of wasted the flash. And it's kind of crazy that we see so many marks on Kindred so early on into the game, as a fight over red buff is going to break out here.
Ham now trying to take down Exasperated, try to fight and get that red buff back, but now they left Sharon Fang over to the side, and now both teams are ready to fight. Black Rookie is now on the back line with Exasperated, as XDME and Cat are just trying to keep kiting away. But Tanamo's now going to take down XDME, and Ham is now trying to fight for his life and to protect his team here.
I think it's safe to say they didn't make Ham mad, they made Tanamo mad.
Tanamo now picking up another kill, and that's a double kill over to Tanamo now as he takes down Black Rookie and Exasperated. And with the Kindred mark there, it's going to protect him from the turret.
Yeah, you know, Kindred has the Lamb's Respite to save her life from the turret, and it's just Tanamo this game. His Lucian mid that he's kind of pulled out is kind of his pocket pick. It's almost not a pocket pick at this point, but he's looking solid on it, and it's safe to say they awakened the beast this game. Kisses for Cats, you know, with no global tools on the side of NG Blossom like last game, with no Shenar, no Galio to respond to plays from so far away, we see a very big lack of being there to help. Last game we saw NG Blossom was a little bit right place, right time. I mean, the fights were still crazy bloody, right? 4 for 4s pretty much consistently throughout the game, but they were at least there as a team. This game, it's like by the time they showed up, they already lost 1 or 2 members, and you know, with all the dashes Kindred and Lucian have, it's just steamrolls, right? Once one person dies, it's like they're funneling in one after the other, and we see a comfortable 7,500 gold lead at 16 minutes. Already up 2 dragons. Will be a Mountain Soul this game.
Mountain Soul a little bit scarier in the hands of, I would say, NG Blossom. They're going to build a little more resistances than Kisses for Cats are going to, as really the only people going to build resistance is going to be Meowing Cat and maybe even a couple here on Special K. Obviously, Ham's going to pick up the Merc Treads and then probably a Guardian's Angel, but a lot more resistance is probably going to come out for NG Blossom, which is why it's definitely a little bit scarier in the hands of NG Blossom, which is why Kisses for Cats cannot give up this soul.
It's even more scary because they're mainly an AD team still. Right, Karma still does some AP, you know, talked about it a little bit. For the most part, they're AD heavy with triple AD carries, right? So when you look at a team that's going to have 4 Ninja Tabby and a bunch of armor as...
Oh, and here comes Ham now on the Catnator. Catnator taking dangerously low. He's going to be picked off by Ham, but Ham's now just kiting around his team. And good flash away from the Cataclysm as he's going to take away from Exasperated, but Exasperated pick up the kill now. Eagles are coming out into Sharon Fang. Sharon Fang ticking low, and he's going to be shut down by Black Oreo Cookies. But here comes the Meowing Cat flashing forward onto Exasperated, and he's going to pick him off as well.
And Special K, support no combat, XDMV will live. And the big thing there, I mean, they fought without Tanamo, right? So it's a 2 for 2 actually, because Tanamo is still your most fed member in the team, by far.
And he's going to go forward on Jeremy Flip now. Colling's going to connect, and he's going to pick off Jeremy Flip. Tanamo is having the game that you wish your LCS fantasy players would have. Right? looking at Jeremy Flip now, or Tanamo now, he's all over the place. 10 kills picked up, 4 assists, only 1 death. Tanamo's having the game of the series right now. He is just everywhere he needs to be, picking up the kills, pumping out damage. Tanamo's having a great game.
That's true. You would never want Ham as a fantasy player. He's a little too crazy with his deaths. It's kind of like watching Svenskeren play when Svenskeren was MVP, because he was always dying a lot while doing a lot. We do see 3rd Dragon going over to the side of Kisses for Cats, and like you mentioned, it's scary for NG Blossom to have 4 mountains. So it's just good to keep steamrolling to be on Soul Point.
We're now at the 18-minute mark, and that was the 10th mark picked up for Ham on Kindred.
I mean, look at Ham.
Fight now going to break out.
waiting.
Huge unstoppable force coming out by Meow and Cat. As now Ham is in the back line trying to just pick him off. As he's going to keep going forward and just picking off these members with all the attack range he's been able to pick up with these 10 hunts collected. Ham's going to pick up a kill on Exasperate, and he's just going to keep kiting around. Double kill now for Ham. Equalizer just trying to throw him out. That's a triple kill now for Ham. Ace.
That equalizer. Oh no. That was so sad. Look at Ham, man. Ham is such a disrespectful player to play against. He's so aggressive, right? Like, he is the definition of one of those like tilt players where he will do everything he can to tilt the enemy team. I mean, look at him. He just doesn't care as he picks up another kill.
And now he's going to be flag and dragged over. Cataclysm coming out as they're just trying to take down Ham, and Ham won't die. And now he finally goes down by XDME. Cullen going out trying to take him out as well. Jeremy Flip now just trying to lock his team up as well. And he's going to be picked off. Black Rook is now taken low. Another A's over for Kisses for Cats, and that's probably going to be the game.
This looks so reminiscent of the last game of the regular season we saw between these two, where it was 35-7 Kisses for Cats over NG Blossom in terms of kills. It's a very similar score, and they're looking to end pre-20 minutes basically. They gave us a 40-minute barn burner. In this game, we're looking at half that. 20-minute game, huge Malphite ult.
Another unstoppable force is going to connect on the 3. Exasperated trying to go forward and shut down Tanimo, but Tanimo is just doing so much damage, kiting around. Nexus is getting broken open, and that's game 2 over for Kisses for Cats.
And Kisses for Cats definitely got mad after they threw away the game in game 1, and we see them with a very, very dominant bounce back. And they're going to have to see, man. NG Blossom, game 1 was very sloppy from both sides. They were able to neck it out. And in game 2, I mean, they just got slaughtered, right? That was, I mean, losing at 20 minutes is pretty much always a very one-sided game. There's no game that's close that ends at 20 minutes for the most part, right? So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, you know, maybe get Catinator on something that can be more aggressive with XDME. And you're going to have to look at probably getting a better mid lane and top lane pick to match roams, right? The Aatrox was virtually useless in terms of actually impacting the map. One of his only 2 kills came when he TP'd bot lane after a fight was lost and basically flashed for a 1-for-1. So we're going to have to see if they can, you know, go back to the drawing board at all here. Go back to maybe what worked in game 1. Maybe look at picking up the early Shen or the early Galio so it doesn't get banned away.
I think definitely that one of those two is going to be required to deal with how roam heavy Kisses for Cats is, as they try to make a lot of plays in the bot lane or picks in the jungle. Definitely they need either the Shen with the Stand United or the ultimate from the Galio to kind of lock down some of the areas and prevent some of those roamings. But with how bloody game 2 was, and with how crazy game 1 is, I don't think anyone wants to miss this next game 3.
Yeah, as my boy Pasta Boy over here always likes to say, gamers and gamettes, we have a series on our hands. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with game 3 in just a few minutes.